6 of 14 from three, 43%, in large part to Haley Cube, who was 4 of 5 from three that for Yutan, and she was a big factor the entire game, 7 of 9 from the field. As Ellie Lloyd hurt us inside in the fourth quarter as well. The Blue Jays cooled off the second half. They were just 6 of 17, 13 of 30 from the field for the game, 43%. 2 of 5 from three, 40%, just shooting just 5 threes. 9 of 15 from the line, 60%. Yutan 11 of 19. Yutan, though, hurt us on the boards the second half. They out-rebounded us 14 to 8 in the second half, 25 to 19 for the game, and they got 5 offensive in the second half, 7 for the game, which hurt us as well. Turnovers, we turned it over 18, they turned it over 15. A lot of these stats are not that far apart, but it's kind of like Ozzie Guillen used to say about the Minnesota Twins, my team. They were like piranhas. They take a bite out of you here and there, and that's kind of what Yutan did to the Blue Jays tonight.
All right, Mark, well, thank you very much, and welcome everyone to Ashland, Nebraska and the Birdcage. As tonight, it is a battle for Platte Valley. The number 1 rated Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays, they get their rivals from northern Saunders County, the 7-6 Yutan Chieftains, in a game that promises to be a matchup of two teams with distinctly different styles. Which will prevail? Well, folks, we're about to find out. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Washburn, and I'm joined by the two-time state champion coach at Johnson Brock and our current high school math teacher here at Ashland-Greenwood, Dan Valley. Coach, a word that AG coach Jake Mose has often used over the last few days to describe this Chieftains team is they are unique. Unique because he says no other team on his Blue Jay schedule up to this point of the season does Yutan really does what Yutan does, which is they control the ball and the tempo, and as Coach Mose says, they have the skills to play that way. So how does this pose some challenges for Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays?
Well, thanks, Tim. It's good to be here tonight with you. Looking forward to it. Yeah, Yutan, they are unique. You know, they really try and slow things down. They're very patient offensively. They're not going to take quick shots. They know what their game is, and they're going to take one possession at a time, and they're really going to try and get the best shot possible. They really want to slow the tempo down and just try and slow the Blue Jays down as much as they can.
Well, you know, Yutan comes in this game with a very skilled shooter in senior Jake Richmond, who averages over 13 a game, and man, he can shoot. But as Coach Mose points out, if you give Richmond too much attention, and you know this, Coach, the Chieftains, they have a lot of other weapons that they're going to make you pay. So how do the Blue Jays devise their defensive game plan tonight?
Well, Yutan definitely does have, you know, a pretty balanced offense. Richmond does lead them with about 13 a game, like you said. The Blue Jays did a great job the other night against Platteview. You know, you have Connor Milliken, who scores a bunch of points, and they had several other shooters as well. Brooks Kissinger did an outstanding job on him. The Blue Jays were able to switch defensively. They really made some nice adjustments, not letting Milliken get loose. I would expect them to do the same kind of thing against Richmond. I think Brooks will draw the assignment to begin with, but look for the other defenders to really help out on Richmond, to know where he's at. But at the same time, you know, knowing where their offensive players at as well.
Well, you know, the Blue Jays, they might have the best shooting team in the history of this program at Ashland-Greenwood, with their top 7 players all shooting over 52% on the year. So the question for second-year Yutan coach Jesse Gardner, how do you come up with a defensive plan to stop this Blue Jay shooting attack?
Well, you know, I've talked to a few of my coaching friends, and you know, I've asked them, you know, what would you do against Ashland to slow them down? And I don't know if there's a good answer to that. There's so many weapons out there. So many guys shoot the ball well from the perimeter. Of course, you got Cale Jacobson breaking down the defense and getting the ball, distributing it where it needs to go. really puts a lot of pressure on a defense. I think the best thing that Yutan can hope for is that the Blue Jays have an off shooting night and they're able to keep the score down. If you look at some of their games this year, when Yutan's been successful, they've really held that score down. There was a couple of games 2 or 3 weeks ago when they played, two of the top teams in C1 in Wahoo and Concordia, and they were in both of those games right to the end. They ended up losing to Wahoo by 7, but it was only 39-32. They lost to Concordia 31-30. So, their goal, I think, is to keep that score down. If they can hold it to the 30s and 40s, then they've got a shot. If the score gets up into the 50s and 60s, then it's going to be pretty tough.
And that's what I was going to ask you, Coach. That's the score they want, isn't it? They want that score in the 30s, maybe low 40s to have a chance tonight.
Exactly. Their scoring average, both offensively and defensively, are both in the 40s. That's the kind of game they want. They want to really slow things down on the other side of the ball. The Blue Jays, of course, want to get up and down the floor as much as they can. Their scoring average is right around 68 a game, and still they're holding their opponents in the 40s.
Right, and then let's flip it for this Blue Jay squad. They have been incredibly difficult defensively as well. Averaging for the season 3 quarters where they don't allow 10 points or more to be scored in that quarter, which, Coach Mo says, look, I'd take 1 quarter a game, and he's getting it for the season. Talk about this Blue Jay defense. Now Yutan will have to attack it.
Yeah, it's just been exceptional to watch them. They put so much pressure on the ball. They know their responsibilities. They know where they're supposed to be defensively, and it's really fun to watch them take an offense apart and not allow the opposing team to do what they want to do. A lot of their offense is created by their defense. They get so many points in transition. They get so many trips to the free throw line because they're always attacking the hoop. It's just been really a joy to watch them play this year.
Boy, they've got a lot of ways to hurt you, and Yutan, though, has the respect of Coach Mose and this coaching staff. He knows that they can control the tempo. They're one of the few teams this year he really believes can play that kind of style because they're so skilled. So, Coach, I've got this question for you. A lead in the game, and Coach Mose said this, if Yutan is able to get a lead early, they can do what they want to do. So I know we oftentimes talk about quick starts, but it's going to be really important for Yutan tonight. Absolutely.
Like you said, if they get off to a good start and they get a little bit of a lead, look for them to really pull that ball out and really protect that offense, take great shots, and really try and slow the Blue Jays down that way. On the other hand, if Ashland gets out to a lead, that's going to spell trouble for Yutan, I think, because their offense just isn't geared for that quick comeback.
Well, let's take a look now at the starting lineups as the crowd continues to file in here to the Birdcage tonight. Great, loud student body, and they are going to, of course, give it everything they've got. And actually, we may be pausing here for the playing of the national anthem. That may come first here, Coach Valley. As the student body, they have their cowboy theme on tonight, and they are standing ready to try to get these Blue Jays in. Well, let's see what we have. Yes, we're going to pause for the playing of the national anthem.
And under the direction of Miss Shelby Bird.
Nicely done by the Ashland-Greenwood Pep Band. Let's now get the starters, and we're going to start with Yutan under second-year coach Jesse Gardner, who's done a marvelous job. The Chieftains come in here with a 7-6 record, and their starters go as follows. Nolan Tim, tough defender, averaging over 5 points a game, and he is a 6-foot junior. He'll be joined in that backcourt by Jake Richmond. He can really shoot, a 5'10 senior, averaging just over 13 points a game, and he is shooting 40% from three. Benjamin Denley, he's a senior as well, averaging 7.1 points a game, shooting 43% from the field. And then you've got Sam Peterson. He's got 9.8 points, and he is quite a player, the 6'2" senior. And finally, Carter Takota, a 6'1" senior, averaging just at 6 points a game. And now let's take a look at the Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays. In the backcourt, Cale Jacobson. He's a talented senior, averaging almost 17 a game and 4 steals. Evan Shepard also in the backcourt. He's a 6'2" senior, averaging just over 8 points a game, and he is shooting 57% from three. Brooks Kissinger, he's been hot of late, averaging 11.4 points a game. He's a 6'2" junior. Cougar Konzum, a 6'4" junior, averaging just over 9. And Max Parker, he's a senior at 6'6", averaging 1.5 blocks a game and 12 points a game. And it will be Max. Make that Sam Peterson and Max Parker as they will be going up here for the opening tip, and the Blue Jays will get it. As Evan Shepard tracks it down, the crowd on their feet, making some noise here in the birdcage tonight. Blue Jays facing man-to-man defense. Jacobson step through off the glass, and the Blue Jays lead.
Great patience there by Cale. Took his time, stepped through for an easy bucket.
Back the other way come the Chieftains. Blue Jays in their vaunted man-to-man D. Up top, now they're going to work to Richmond. Boy, he can really shoot, folks. And look at him drive the left baseline. But the Blue Jays double, and the turnover. A quick Shepard who intercepted the pass. Bounce pass into Cale. Start the Blue Jays wanted, huh, Coach Valley?
Absolutely.
Konzum for three, bingo!
That's exactly what the Blue Jays are looking for. Great start here. Got a good look from three for Cougar, knocks it down.
Cougar shooting 34% from three this year, and that's not bad, but last year he shot almost 50. And so he's working through it, but he looked good there. Here comes a little dribble drive, and this is going to be Nolan Tim who throws it away. Tracking it down is the senior Parker. Blue Jays with that quick 5-0 lead, and the student body on fire tonight, making some noise. Kissinger kicks it back up top. Cougar, can he go 2 for 2? Bingo!
Great start there again. Cougar got a wide open look, and again, he's knocking them down. Yutan, this is definitely not what they were looking for to start the game.
And you're right, Coach. As Jesse Gardner says, we got to call a quick timeout. Just a minute 31 into the game. You hate to burn it, but he needed to settle his troops down.
Yeah, smart move there by Coach Gardner, just to call timeout, get his guys settled down a little bit. The atmosphere is great here. The crowd's into it. You know, a couple of turnovers offensively for them. That's not what they want to do. So just telling them to relax, settle down a little bit. Let's do what we do, and we'll be fine.
Coach, this has got the atmosphere, since you mentioned it, of a big game here. It's noisy, it's loud, the place is almost filled, and I'm a little surprised by how raucous it is here to start.
Yeah, it's a great crowd. You know, of course, when you've got a number one team, you know, everybody wants to come out and see them play, and the Blue Jays have not disappointed this year.
Nolan Tim will bring it up against Shepard. Nolan, the younger brother of Brady Tim, who just finished an absolutely brilliant career at Yutan a year ago. Here's a little dribble penetration by Denley. He tries to float it up and in over a couple defenders, and Yutan on the board.
Well done there by the Chieftains. Took their time, got a good bucket inside.
Look at Cale work. Using the right hand, just a little too hard. Tim with the board, Denley out quickly. Blue Jay defense back in good transition D. 6-point lead for the Blue here early on, as Denley will handle it off the left side. Blue Jay D really extending out. They get it down to Denley, trying to work through. Shot up too hard. Good D by Konzum, and there's the board by Parker.
Solid defense there by the Blue Jays. Made him take a tough shot. Cougar for another.
No, just off. I thought he had it, Coach. They kick it down to
It looked good
Kissinger,
from here.
didn't it? Yeah.
It really did.
Kale with a one-handed pass to Cougar, and Coach gets excited on that one.
What a great pass. I love to watch Kale play. He's always looking for the open man. Really a great distributor. It's fun to watch him play.
And Coach, you had a little left-handed fist pump on that. I could tell you were excited.
Well, us lefties, we have to stick together a little bit.
That's for sure. Here's Peterson at the top of the key. 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Blue Jays coming out sharp. Here's a little give and go, a little pick and roll that doesn't work because Kale gets it down to Conzum. Reverse layup, good.
Great pass there by Brooks Kissinger. Always looking ahead. Found the open man.
Man, the Blue Jays are clicking on all cylinders. Early on in this game, we have yet to play 4 minutes, and they're up 10.
Cougar Conzum with 10 points already, 10 out of the 12 for the Blue Jays. That's a great start for him.
We got some help here. Here's a little floater by Tim. He missed everything on the rebound down to Kissinger. Kissinger running 3-on-3, but Brooks has said, I'm just going to go hard off the glass. And what are they going to call? They're going to say no bucket. It was on the floor. And they're calling Carter Takota on the foul. It'll be his first, and the first foul of the game.
Yeah, it's really been up and down. There's been a lot of action. Solid defense by the Blue Jays without fouling. Yutan picks up the first foul of the game there.
Cade Bridges comes in. So does Dane Jacobson for the Big Blue. And Kissinger will feed it right back to Kale. Skip pass over to Bridges. And Yutan in that 2-3 zone, Coach.
Yep, looks like Yutan went to a zone on the out of bounds. We'll see if they stay with that or if they go back to man-to-man.
Bridges, bingo! My goodness, they're on fire, Coach!
Well, I tell you what, Cade Bridges has been a real spark off the bench this year. He's one of our best three-point shooters, and when he comes in the game, he's looking to put it up right away if he gets an open look.
And the defensive pressure causes a turnover as Dinley touched it out of bounds. You mentioned Bridges shooting 45% from beyond the arc, and here's another quick timeout by Coach Jesse Gardner. He wants to try to get control of this thing before it really gets out of hand. 15-2 Blue Jays. You've been on that sideline, Coach. What's going through Coach Gardner's mind?
Yeah, I've definitely been there, and it's one of those deals where when you get behind so quickly, so early, the kids just they want to go. They want to. We've got to get back in the game. We've got to shoot quick, and that's not Yutan's game. Coach is trying to just settle them down, say, hey, there's a lot of game left. There's more than 3 quarters to go. We have to stick with our game plan. We have to take our time. The quicker we try and push, and if we're not successful, the Blue Jays are going to get runouts. They're going to get easy buckets at the other end.
Well, we mentioned what Yutan wanted in this game. They wanted to get that early lead so they could play their kind of game. But down 13, they're going to have to push a little bit.
It's really going to be tough for them here. Hopefully, Yutan is hoping that by going to this 2-3 zone a little bit, they can slow the tempo down. They can get out to shooters. They can force the Blue Jays to take some time and just get things slowed down a little bit.
Well, let's see what kind of zone here, Coach. What do we got, a 2-3?
Looks like it.
As Bridges will get it off to Kissinger. Yutan opened up the game against against Platteview, I should say, in a box and one. Here's Bridges for another 3, and this one won't go. Dinley with the board. We mentioned Cade Bridges shooting 45% from 3. Coach, he has not missed a 2-point shot this year. He's only 5 of 5, but boy, he's been shooting well. When you got a guy like that off the bench who's shooting like that, we got a whistle here. That's pretty good.
That's a really nice weapon to bring in off the bench. Not that the starters are excellent shooters as well, but when you can bring a guy off the bench that's just automatic at times, that's a definite advantage.
Who do you defend is the big question if you're playing in Ashland-Greenwood.
Yeah, there are definitely so many weapons out there. It is hard to decide which bullet you're going to take.
And there is Richmond at the top of the key. He can really shoot. He'll try a little floater, and this time it falls at 15-4.
Nice little move there by Richmond. Got the floater to fall. Now we'll see what they can do defensively. Looks like they're staying in that 2-3 zone.
And they do, as they will attack it now with Kale. Good bounce pass to Conzum, and he does a blinded shot from the left side of the rim.
I really like what Coach Mose is doing there offensively against that 2-3. He's putting Cale Jacobson in the mid-post area. Cale's such a great distributor. When he gets the ball in there, he can find the open man. Cougar did a great job of cutting to the open spot. Cale found him right away.
And to Coach Valley's point, folks, if you're sitting down, Cale is averaging over 6 assists per game, 6.2. Here's Wentworth. Kicks it out there, and that's saying something in high school. And here comes a drive by Richmond. He gets his own rebound, though, puts it back. It won't fall. And there's another putback attempt by Yutan. So Coach Mose won't be happy with a rebounding that time of the Big Blue.
Right. Blue Jays forgot to box out there a little bit. They were trying to block a shot somewhat. Richmond had a couple of floaters there. But the Blue Jays just didn't box out, and that cost them with the foul on the shot.
Drake Trent will hit that free throw to cut it to 12. And by the way, the foul was on Cade Bridges, his first. So Cade exits along with Brooke Kissinger. Max Parker comes back in, and Evan Shepard. Drake Trent, big physical kid here for Yutan. Second free throw won't go. And a rebound down to Jacobson. So we've got 2:08 to go first quarter, and the Blue Jays have exactly the start they wanted. As Max Parker will hand it off to the sophomore Jacobson. Look at that crossover, and the crowd loved it, and Cale will go to the line to shoot 2.
Great crossover move there by Cale. That's his go-to move, and it's really hard to defend. I had a coach that I was talking to a couple days ago, said, how does Cale get so much space to work with? Because, a player like that, people have to be up on. Well, the reason why he's got so much space is because all the other defenders are out guarding shooters on the three-point line, and he's got all kinds of room to work with.
Second free throw, that is great analysis right there, Coach. And I'll tell you, that's what makes defending the Blue Jays so hard. And here comes Richmond back the other way. They'll work off the right side. Wentworth checks in the game. Braxton Wentworth, good sophomore athlete, plays some football, plays some basketball, as well as, of course, baseball. Here's a three-pointer by Richmond. That was down in Waverly, Nebraska. He knocks it home.
That's exactly what Yutan needed there to try and get back in this game. Richmond is shooting the ball well. The Blue Jays are going to have to defend him.
Max Parker tries to answer, couldn't get it to fall, and Richmond with the board. Coach, I'll tell you, Jake Richmond is the son of Jill Dow Richmond. Jill Dow, all-time three-point percentage leader at UNO. She holds the record for the highest three-point percentage, and that's where he learned to shoot. Here comes Peterson, can't answer, and the ball will go out of bounds.
Yep,
So
you can definitely tell that's definitely where Jake learned to shoot, and he's doing it well. He's making his mom proud.
Yeah, she sure is. And back the other way comes Dane Jacobson, with the Blue Jays now having their lead cut into a little bit. 9 points, under a minute to go.
Looks like Yutan back to man-to-man defense here.
Switching around their defenses. Coach mentioned they've been in a 2-3 zone. Here's going to be reaching out Braxton Wentworth. Caught him, I think, with the right hand.
Yeah, one thing that, Yutan, they don't have a whole lot of size out there on the floor, so look for the Blue Jays to maybe post up, either Cale or Dane or even Brooks on one of these smaller defenders.
And Brooks will drive left baseline. Great job defensively by Dakota. And Wentworth might get the steal, and he knocked it off the leg of Max Parker. And Yutan, they're finding a little something here.
Yep, they had a good defensive stop there. Looked like Brooks just kind of lost his footing a little bit, but Yutan took advantage. Now they've got a chance to maybe hold for the last shot here in the first quarter.
And by the way, the officials tonight, Jake Marr, Ken Marr, and Chuck Lewis. And so here comes Peterson. He's trying to get something going here tonight. Bothered a little bit by sore foot. Now we got a whistle, and the double team causes the turnover as Richmond stepped out of bounds.
That's one thing that coaches love to do defensively. If a team's trying to hold for one shot, they really want to put a lot of pressure on the offense to try and force them into a turnover, and that's exactly what the Blue Jays did there.
And now we've got 12 seconds to go, Coach. A 9-point lead, and Blue Jays with it as Cale Jacobson's going to hold against Peterson. These are two great athletes going after each other. Cale in trouble, gets it out over to Brooks, steps through, three ball, bingo! My goodness!
Great work there by the Blue Jays for that shot. Everybody in the gym, I think, was expecting Cale to take that last shot. He tried to penetrate. Peterson did a great job of cutting off the lane. Cale was patient. He didn't try and force it. He found Brooks. Brooks gave a little shot fake, little step to the side, knocks down the three at the buzzer.
Well, we talked about Jake Richmond's mother being a great basketball player. Brooks Kissinger has been playing great as well. His mom, Jenny Kissinger, 1997 Nebraska Wesleyan Female Athlete of the Year. She was great in track and field. She was a 9-time coach, 9-time NCAA All-American in track and field. The national champion 4x4 relay team at the NCAA Division III Indoor Championships. And she still has the All-NIAC point guard record for steals and assists in a career.
Wow.
So we've got 2 kids out here whose moms could really play some hoops.
Well, that's pretty incredible, really. That's a tremendous athletic record, and you can just see why these kids are such great athletes. You know, their parents were athletic. You know, they've been brought up in the sports arena, and they really thrive on the atmosphere, and they're really showing how great athletes they really are.
Now, Coach, I've been watching you here in this broadcast, and I'm telling you, you react on every play. You got a lot of coach left in you, don't you?
I do tend to get a little bit excited. It's tough for me when I'm doing the scorebook at times because, you know, you like to show a little emotion, but you kind of have to be a little impartial there. So this is nice. I get a little release here.
You bet. We love it. Back the other way comes Richmond as we start the second quarter. Here comes Peterson trying to get loose. Little hook shot won't go. Blue Jays fight over it, but Parker comes out of there with it. Look at that long lead pass to Kissinger. Left baseline drive, shot up off the glass. Oh, he couldn't get it to roll. Good job by Denley.
All right, look for Yutan to maybe slow things down here, try and get a shot in the paint, not try and force anything quick.
Credit Coach Jesse Gardner. He burned 2 quick timeouts in that first quarter to get things settled down. Yutan playing a lot better since then. Here comes a double team. Almost got something. Dakota kicks it out. Peterson, here we go. This is the kind of game they like, huh, Coach?
Yep, this is exactly what they want to do. Yep.
And a whistle and a foul. I think they're going to call Kale on a little push there.
Nope. Got Brooks that time.
They did get Brooks, all right. That is his first and the third team foul on the Big Blue. And here comes the pass out to Dakota. There's a wide open look for Tim. He can really shoot it. And Nolan Tim knocks it home.
It was a really good possession there for Yutan. Not only did they draw the foul on the first one, then they got the open look from the corner, knocked down the 3.
What a pass to Brooks there, quick. But Brooks said, I'm going to be patient. Nolan Tim, some say he might be the best shooter in that Tim household. Here is Max Parker up no good, and that could be saying something, Coach. Grady Tim was great. His older brother was great. And, of course, Andy Tim, his dad, was a great player down at Dome.
Absolutely. That's definitely a basketball family, and Nolan's doing a great job here.
Here's Peterson. Max didn't come out and get him, and Peterson making pay. It's 20-13, and Yutan's crawled back in it.
Yes, they have. They're doing it one possession at a time. They're really being patient.
Look at Kale, though. Beautiful jumper. And it's now a 9-point lead.
Coach Mose is going to get after his guys here to pick up the defensive intensity. They've left a couple shooters open the last 2 possessions. Look for them to turn it up a little bit here.
And that student body chanting defense. Great bounce pass, but out of bounds was Nolan Tim. He thought he got back in time, but I'm not sure he did.
No, it didn't look like it. It looked like he had not established both feet in bounds on the pass underneath.
So Evan Shepard will walk it up. Senior averaging just over 8 points a game. So dangerous athletically. And here's Kale. Another beautiful crossover. Kicks it open to Conza. Look at the ball movement here by the Big Blue. And there you got a cutter
Great
and a bucket.
Great cut there by Cougar. Brooks found him. Easy bucket.
14.
Cougars up to 14 now in the game. 14 out of the 24.
Unbelievable. And we've got your son helping out tonight, which is awesome. And back the other way we go, and Richmond's in trouble, but now he beats the double team, finds a wide open Peterson. Peterson, they said he traveled, and Coach Jesse Gardner is not happy with that call from Kinmar.
Yeah, it looked like the baseline official had a foul, but Kinmar had the travel just slightly before the foul call.
And Mike Davis on that bench as well. Mike, an official himself, he got in the ear a little bit of Kinmar. So a little officiating love between each other. Here comes Kissinger in the paint. Kicks it back out. Cougar for a 3 ball. Just a bit short. But there's Kale with an offensive board. Blue Jays working around. Max trying to get inside. Look at the Blue Jays cut, Coach. You got to love that, huh?
Absolutely. Great movement offensively. They just work so well together.
Beautiful skip pass to Parker. And now they're going to be patient. Brooks says, oh, cut to the hole and try left-handed layup, and he'll get it to fall.
Great take there by Brooks. Took it up real strong. got the bucket off the board.
And that was over Sam Peterson, who's going to play football at Midland. He's a great athlete. Back the other way they come. Sam Peterson has a little cut, but Max Parker with a beautiful defense. Gets him in, he fades away from Max. Max made him miss.
Max has really improved his defense this year. He's so long, and it's really tough to shoot over him, but he really moved his feet well on that possession.
And it'll be Kale getting a pick there off the elbow, but he's going to kick it out to Brooks. Brooks, man, can he drive. And he will kick it out to Parker. Parker's going to go to the hole himself. And he'll try a hook shot, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would be proud of that one.
Great job there by Max. Coach stresses going off of 2 feet every single time you get in the paint. Max could have tried to force it early, but he took his time, went off 2 feet, and got the hook to go.
They're going to call Kale on a hold there, Coach. And Kale had that look like he didn't quite agree with it. You've seen that before, right?
I have seen that. Yes, I have. But yeah, I didn't quite see what happened there. But Kale's real good about putting pressure on the ball, and he just got caught there with a little bit of a hold.
So it'll be Nolan Tim to take it out. They'll go 4 across there. They're trying to find Drake, not there. Good job by that Blue Jay defense. So they have to outlet it, and Wentworth does a good job of just taking it in the backcourt. Yutan down 15. It was just 9 not long ago. And here's a double team on the pick and roll. They get Drake in the paint. And that's how quick the Blue Jays can do it, huh, Coach?
Absolutely. A couple of defensive stops led to some easy chances at the other end.
At top is Dinley. Goes to Nolan Tim, who gets a pick. They're going to try to chase him and double him. And the Blue Jays, do they get a steal? They do. Here comes Kale running. He tries to step through. We got a whistle. What do we have? They're going to call a foul.
Called foul on the floor there. You can see the Blue Jays really turn up that defensive pressure. Yutan tends to run some ball screens on their offense, and the Blue Jays are going to double those ball screens when they can to try and force a bad pass, which they did there. The third man did a great job of rotating the ball and got the steal there.
Here's a bounce pass into Bridges. Getting lost that time was Richmond.
Just a little cross screen under the hoop. Yutan got a little bit confused on who was going to take who. Bucket for Bridges.
Another great look by Cale Jacobson, and he'll get the steal right on cue. He goes to Dane. Dane feeds it to Brooks, and the layup with the left hand from the right side is good.
Yep, all of a sudden the lead's 19. The Blue Jays they're so fun to watch because they're unselfish. They don't care who gets the bucket. They want to get the assist. They feed it to the guy ahead. It doesn't matter who scores. They just want to be successful.
Well, Coach, here you are. You're down 9. You're feeling good. You clawed back in. In fact, it might have got down to 7. And it gets close. You're feeling good. And all of a sudden you look up and you're down 32-13.
Yeah, the Blue Jays will do that. They've done that to almost every team they've played this year. There's been some games that was close for a while. It was a hard-fought battle. And then all of a sudden they go on a 10, 12-point run, and now you're fighting to stay in the ballgame.
Well, they are indeed doing that. And what I love about this Jesse Gardner, by the way, man, if you watched the Yutan Chieftains play last year with Brady Tim, you talk about a team and everyone understanding their role. And I said that to Coach Gardner before the game. I said, man, it was just so much fun to watch you guys because everyone understood their role. And he said, you know what? This Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jay team reminds me a little of that team a year ago. They all understand their role very well. So, Coach Gardner, a lot of respect for the Blue Jays.
Absolutely. Yutan losing, a guy that played all 4 years like Brady Tim, it takes a while to adjust and find those new roles and get comfortable. And they just don't have necessarily that floor leader like they've had for the past 4 years out there.
Here comes Richmond on the lead out. His right-handed layup up and good. He got a little crazy there for a moment, Coach. And the Blue Jays attacking. They get it into Kale in the paint. See, that's a shot he could have taken, but what's he do? He kicks it out, and Bridges gets the tray.
There we go. 3's always worth more than 2. I try and teach that in math class a little bit. But, like you said, Kale could have forced a shot there, but he's more than happy to kick it out to an open three-point shooter.
Drake Zimmerman in the game. The sophomore could really play some defense.
Yeah, Drake's an excellent defender. He really gets after it. Great footwork.
Really good athlete. And here's Richmond. He's just working so hard, and a beautiful job in there by Dinley to save it to Peterson, who will pull up from 15. And that's a good-looking shot by Sam.
Absolutely. It was a little bit helter-skelter there for a bit, but he got himself under control and was able to knock down that jumper.
Here's Dane Jacobson. He took a little step, and they'll call him for the travel.
Yep, he saw the opening to the lane, just got a little bit too excited with the feet before he put the ball on the floor.
We got Shepard and Kissinger coming back in. Sam Peterson is the son of Pat Peterson, who is a tremendous athlete himself over there in Yutan. And, you know, it's all, I've known Pat for years. It's so much fun talking to him. He's just so humble. And, boy, Sam's just been a thrill to watch over the years. Back the other way comes Richmond. They kick it down to Dakota. Dakota with a little hook. I think they're going to call, no, they're going to call Bridges on the hold. Almost could have had a little hook there, huh?
That one could have gone either way. It looked like Dakota with a little bit of a hook there, like you said. But Kay just a little bit too much hands on the driver there.
So Bridges will come out. Max Parker will come in. I believe that might be Cade's third foul. Is that third on him?
I think it's just two.
Just two, all right.
But we don't want to pick up three here in the first half.
That's right. And now we got a double dribble on Denley, and that's what pressure will do to you.
Absolutely. You know, he saw an opening, and you know he got himself up in the air before he put the ball on the floor again.
We got 49 seconds to go, and Coach, I'm going to try to dial up Coach Schubert here really quick and see if he'd come up for the halftime show. I meant to do that. But back the other way come the Blue Jays. And up top they go to Max Parker. He finds Evan Shepard in the corner. Blue Jays going to be patient, just going to go for one here, Coach, huh?
Looks like they might, unless they find a great opening here. They might just be patient, hold for one. They got down 25 seconds.
We've got 22, 21 to go, and you're right. Coach, you like this thought? You like this strategy?
I do. You know, they tried to find something early. There was nothing there. So we'll be patient. We'll take the last one. We'll go into the locker room.
All right, here we go. You hear the faithful counting it down for their own team as Kale will be fouled. And did we hit the bucket there, Coach?
We did, but unfortunately it was after the whistle. But not a bad foul there by Yutan. It's only their fifth of the half, so it's not shooting free throws. Make the Blue Jays take the ball out of bounds here with 4.9 left.
Lob it into Cougar, who goes off the glass, fights for it, can't, and Peterson comes down. He puts up a big shot from three-quarter court that will just miss. So a great first half by the Big Blue. I think that overall Coach Mose is going to be really pleased with about 12 minutes of those 16 minutes of that first half.
I think so. You know, there were a couple of possessions early in the second quarter where the Blue Jays didn't find shooters for Yutan. They were able to get the lead back down to 9 or 7, like we said. But overall, I think defensively they're doing exactly what they want to do. They're putting pressure on Yutan. They're forcing them to make quick decisions that they're not real comfortable with. And they're getting the benefits of that at the other end offensively.
Well, Coach, you know, there's no doubt about it. We talked about at the beginning of this broadcast, if Yutan could get a lead or keep it close here early, they'd be able to play the kind of game that they'd want to play, like they played against Wahoo earlier this year to lose 39-32. But when you're down 35-17, it really works in the hands of the Big Blue. Right.
Yutan, you know, like you said, it took them out of what they wanted to do right away off the bat. I think it was 14-2 before you could even catch your breath. So they're going to have to fight from behind. They're not going to be able to take their time like they really want to. And with the Blue Jays hitting shots like they are, it's going to be really tough for them to come back. But we'll see what Coach Gardner dials up here defensively to see what he can do, and offensively try and get a spark going.
You know, one of the things about the Blue Jays that we mentioned is so many guys can hurt you offensively. Tonight, and Cougar's been having a fine season, averaging 9.1 points a game. Down a little from 12 points an average last year, down to 9. But an incredible first half. It just demonstrates how deep this team is offensively.
Absolutely. You know, Cougar has struggled a little bit at times offensively this year. But, yeah, you know, had a great first quarter. He had 12 points in that first quarter and another 2 in the second. And just that's great for a guy like that, just to be able to find those open looks and knock him down, get him some confidence going, and that's going to do nothing but good things for him going down the rest of the year here.
Well, I know something else that Coach Mose is going to like, even though they had a little bit of a lapse defensively there midway through that second quarter. Again, they're just giving up 9 points on average for the first quarter and 9 points, and a little over 10 points in the second quarter. But tonight, the Blue Jays just gave up 8 points in the first, 9 points in the second. I've got to imagine he'll be happy with that.
Yes, that's exactly what coaches love. You know, if you can keep a team under 10, like the Blue Jays usually do, you know, you're going to hold them under 40 for a game, and you're going to win most games if you hold a team under 40. And, you know, like you say, Coach Mose can't be disappointed by that effort, holding Yutan to 17 here in the first half. I think they're doing most everything that they want to do defensively.
Well, you always talk about Coach Mose loves to try to get their best player, and whether or not you hold them below their average, if you can get them to shoot a high or a low percentage, keep off their game. You know, for instance, Milliken got quite a few points that night, but he didn't shoot like he normally does, and a lot of those points, well, not a lot, but many of those came late, right? What's your thought on the performance of Richmond so far?
You know, Richmond has done a nice job. He's got 9 of their 17, so he's got over half their points in the first half. But he's had to work for them, just like the Blue Jays did against Milliken from Platteview. He's really had to work for those points. And the Blue Jays have done a nice job defensively. I don't think they would be too disappointed with that, especially if it's only one player scoring and the other players are not getting a whole lot of points. You know, sometimes that leading scorer is going to get his, but if they shut everyone else down, that's what we want to do defensively.
Well, Coach, we've been joined now by Dave Hubert here, the Ashland-Greenwood girls coach at half. Coach, thanks for coming up. You got some tight quarters up here. You drop a tough one to Yutan earlier today. But I got to imagine, as you're sitting through it late through the second quarter, you were pretty happy with what you were getting. In fact, you led 25-24 in the third quarter in that game, and it got away from you. Talk about those first, 2 and a quarter, quarters that you played where you had that lead.
Yeah, what's happening right now is that the girls are doing a really good job with the game plan. And we wanted to take away the paint. You could see that. We weren't giving them anything. They get to the free throw line a ton. And our girls played really well for about 18 minutes. And after halftime, we came out and run a little half-court trap, got a steal. You had a 6-point run. And I felt that that things had changed, that things had he's got me on camera here. But that things had that maybe we'd flipped the momentum, because basketball is a game of momentum. And but then again, this happened to us down at Auburn against Fall City. We shut down the drive. We did what we needed to do, forced them to take outside shots, and they hit 6 threes tonight, and that kind of opened some things up for them. And then the press started to ramp up a little bit, and momentum turned, and we just couldn't get it back.
This is going to be a fun series. I'm going to let Coach Valley ask a question after this, but this series, Yutan is young, you're young, we've got a lot of nice players out there. This is going to be a fun series for the next 3 or 4 years between Yutan and Ashland-Greenwood.
Yeah, we talked to their head coach, and I talked before the game a little bit, that, they're young. He knows that we're young, and they play. We have a little bit more inside. We thought we could take advantage of that, and we couldn't quite figure that out. We couldn't quite get that figured out tonight, but we will.
Yeah, absolutely we will. Coach, I'll let you jump in here. I know you saw some of that game as well.
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit about what you've got coming up. I know you've got Syracuse on Friday. They're a really nice team. That's going to be a tough one there. Talk a little bit about that, and then with the conference tournament coming up next week, what you're looking forward to there.
Syracuse, Syracuse is number 1 seed in our conference, and Yutan's number 2. So Yutan is a good team. I think this might have been their 10th win tonight, but they got a nice team.
5, yep.
Right? Yeah. Are they? Yeah. And but Syracuse has a big girl inside, and they're leading the conference right now. But I think they would tell you this, that they're not head and shoulders better than everybody else, but they're just right now they're at the front of the conference. But I think right now anybody in that top 5 could beat anybody, but you got to play well, So we're gonna kind of feel it out and see how things go on Friday, and then we take on DC West on Monday in that, because we're the 5 seed, so we take on that 4-5 seed, and then if we get by DC West, we'll be right back at Syracuse.
No doubt about it, Coach. Anything else here?
We saw J.C. Fangmeyer was suited up for you tonight. It'd be nice to have her back in a more prominent role.
Right. She played in the JV game a little bit. Played 2 or 3 minutes in each quarter for 2 quarters. She ran around a little bit, got out there, warmed up for us. She's going to practice tomorrow. So that definitely gives us another 3-point shooter, another guard. So that's a good sign. That might, who knows? Maybe that'll be the spark that kind of gets things going.
Well, Coach, listen, you've done a great job. Can't wait for the game Monday night.
Okay.
And thanks for coming up here at halftime at short notice.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach
All right.
Huber, Dave, we're doing a great job. And we're going to turn it over now to Mark Adele with those first half stats. Mark?
Well, I think Jesse Gardner wanted to give Cougar Consum the chance to achieve greatness, which he did. And so shooting percentages, we are 15 of 23 from the field, 65%. 5 of 10 from 3, 50%. They have shot the ball well too when they've gotten shots off. They're 7 of 14, 50%. They're 2 of 3 from 3, 67%. So the reason that we're ahead is in the turnover category. We've turned them over 11 times, and that is not easy to do, a team like Yutan. We've turned it over just 3 times. Rebounding, there's not a lot of rebounds to been had because of the shooting. They're out rebounding us 9-7. Each team has 2 offensive. Free throws, just 2 shot for each side, probably the biggest upset of the night. Kale 0 for 2. He had 18 straight prior to that. Yutan 1 for 2.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And a +8 in the turnover category, Coach. You got to love that.
Absolutely. That's exactly what the Blue Jays wanted to do on the defensive side of things. They've executed their game plan. Yutan struggled a little bit with theirs. We'll see how the second half, this third quarter plays out. Typically, the Blue Jays have been really, really sharp in the third quarter against teams and been able to stretch that lead. So we'll see if Yutan can hang in here a little bit.
And by the way, big shout out to Jordan Wallman, our partner that we both get a chance to work with. He's home tonight, and I know he hates being home. And you know him as much as I do. Who's up at the crack of dawn and always working hard and not being able to be here tonight. I'm sure he's just not liking that.
Yeah, there's nobody that wants to be in the gym more than Coach Wallman. He's doing a great job with this Strive broadcast with these kids. They're here without him. They know exactly what they're doing. They're doing an excellent job. But, shout out to Coach Wallman at home, having to listen to me on this broadcast. So be glad when he gets back on Friday, hopefully.
Oh, you're giving him a break. It's me that's driving him up a wall. But, Jordan, we're going to see you soon. And here come the Blue Jays. They come out, and they hit a bucket to start things off as Evan Shepard says, I'm getting after him.
Yeah, nice little set play there by the Blue Jays. Looked like maybe they were going to run a handoff or some sort of screen, but basically just cleared out a side and let Evan go one-on-one. And, he's one of the quicker players. His first step is incredible, and he can get to the hoop with the best of them.
By the way, and his free throws up and good. He was just shooting 50% from the line, which is odd because he's shooting so great from the field, but he knocks that down. He just signed with Midland to run track. And, boy, they are getting a steal in that kid.
You talk about a multi-sport athlete, great football player, all-state football player, definitely a great basketball player here. And track is probably his best sport. He's quite the hurdler.
And there's that defense, Coach Valley, where Kale stepped in front of Dakota, forced that little step and a turnover.
Yeah, just a little bit. An advantage in quickness. The Blue Jays are always in the right spot. Every time Yutan tries to drive, there's somebody there to get in their path, and it's causing a bunch of turnovers for them.
So we've got Cooper Consum, Evan Shepard, Brooks Kissinger, Kale Jacobson, and Max Parker, who's going to try 3 ball short, and the rebound coming down to Dakota.
Now that looked like one of those where Max just had so much time to think about it. He probably thought about it too much instead of just relaxing and just using his instincts and shooting the ball.
Here's Richmond. He's got Denley out there. You've also got Peterson in the game, Dakota, and Nolan Tim. Blue Jays up 21 here early third quarter. Here in the Birdcage in Ashland, Nebraska, we've got some great atmosphere tonight. The band's been playing. And with it is Nolan Tim. spin move in the paint. Here comes Richmond, but a good recovery. And did you see Cale coming to help there, Coach?
Yep, absolutely.
He saw it too, didn't he?
Yep.
And he retreated immediately when he saw the help coming from Cale. And here comes Peterson in the paint. Look at that shot again, and second hook shot of the night. And it's down to 19.
Good work there by Peterson. Be patient. You know, he had Max Parker to shoot over, but he took his time and went up strong and got the hoop.
Here comes Shepard. He gets in the paint, kicks out corner. Brooks Kissinger, too much. And it went off of who? They said it went off the shoulder of Dakota. That was just bad luck for Yutan.
Yep, you know, I've always said to kids, you know, that the air ball is the toughest shot to rebound because you're not ready for it. You're ready for it to hit the rim, you know, and your hands aren't ready, and it just happened to bounce off the guy's shoulder.
Jacobson, they clear out that left side for him. He'll spin against Peterson. Shot, will it fall? It does, and they're going to give it to him.
That's where Cale's so tough. You know, he can do things on the perimeter. He can break you down that way, but when he gets the ball in that block area, he's just so strong. Most of the time he's got a smaller guy on him. It's really tough to deal with.
Well, Cale and Peterson, that is just a great battle because those two guys are tremendous athletes. It reminded me when Evan Shepard and Benjamin Bramer up there for that last pass in that playoff game. To have those two battling for, man, that was something special to watch.
Absolutely.
Nolan Tim is doubled, and here comes Cale with the pickpocket. 2-on-2. Yutan does a good job in transition D, but Cale just goes hard at it and gets it to fall over the rim.
Great body control there by Cale. He could have lowered that shoulder and tried to run the guy over, but he was really patient, went straight up with it, got the bucket.
43-19, Big Blue in control here against the Saunders County Platte Valley rival Yutan. And here's Wentworth. He tries a little floater that won't fall. Max Parker with the board. Max averaging over 7 rebounds a game. Cale again going hard at it. They're going to say whistle and foul on. Again, that'll be on the floor, and they'll get it underneath the bucket.
Third foul there on Peterson, so he's going to have to come out.
You hate to have to sit him right now. They need him in the game, don't they?
Absolutely.
Here comes Max. Blue Jays cruising along here. Here's a pick and roll back into Max, the senior with the little finger roll.
Nice there. Nice little finish there by Max. You know, he struggled a little bit from the three-point line. He had an open look there, decided not to take it, got it to Cale. Cale rewarded him with a nice little feed there.
You can't really coach that, can you, Coach?
No, you can't. Nope. It's one of those things that Max has matured a lot, you know, as all of these guys have. In the past, he may have, you know, tried to force it and say, you know, one of these is going to fall and just keep shooting that. But, you know, credit to him for just realizing that, you know, hey, I can go inside and I can get a bucket that way.
Coach, I want to read you some numbers. And I know having coached, you're going to be impressed with this, and I'm sure you've seen it. 2-point shooting percentages for the Blue Jays. Dane Jacobson, 76%. Bridges, 100%. We mentioned he's 5 of 5. Cale Jacobson, 63%. Evan Shepard, 74%. Kissinger at 62%. Cougar and Max both at 73%. Why is that?
Well, the biggest thing, I know I've talked to Coach Mose about it and how they're such great shooters. Basically what it comes down to is the Blue Jays try and eliminate the mid-range jump shot. Okay, it's not a real high percentage shot. You'll see most of the shots they shoot, if it's not a three-pointer, it's a layup or it's something going to the rim. And they do a really good job of that. When they get in the paint, they're patient, they go off 2 feet, they either get fouled or they get the 2 points. They don't settle for mid-range jump shots, they don't shoot a whole lot of floaters from 15 feet, they just do things solidly.
You know, Tyler Craven also says that they work so hard on finishing in practice, too. They run those drills. You would know what they are. And the ball knocked out of bounds off the Blue Jays. That it is something that they work on at finishing. And again, I don't know what those drills would be. You would. But that's something they work really hard at.
Absolutely. You know, the biggest thing is you know you're going to get contact. You know you're going to get fouled. You have to, and that's why they stress going off 2 feet so much. If you're going off of 1 foot and you get that contact, it's so easy to get knocked off balance and then you're floating to the side. It's really difficult to make a shot that way.
Well, Yutan, meanwhile, down 45-19. They're just looking for good shots right now. Not going to get in a hurry. They just need a good opportunity at the bucket. Richmond's going to get called for a travel as Evan Shepard jumped his path on the way to the rim.
Yeah, the Yutan fans aren't too happy about that, but Evan was right there in his path. He didn't do anything with his hands. He was just in the way and forced Richmond into the travel.
So here come the Blue Jays the other way. As Max Parker try to dribble drive, but a good job in there by Drake. They go into Max. Max finds Dane Jacobson. Been a little quiet tonight as Dane. But here comes Kale, and he'll go in and out, rattle in and out. Boy, that thing was halfway down.
Yeah, he's had some good looks. Kale hasn't shot a whole lot of threes this year. You look at those three-point percentages, and you see that the one guy in the main playing rotation that's not shooting the three that well this year has been Kale. And that's not a problem necessarily, but it just goes to show how balanced the Blue Jays are. Even if Kale's not shooting the three well, they're still averaging almost 70 points a game.
And Richmond is going to be called, or I should say Kale will be called on the foul as Richmond was driving. I think that's the second on Kale. No, let's see here.
Nope, looks like they got Dane for that one.
They got Dane, didn't they?
Took one for his brother, I guess.
I didn't see Dane down there, so they will give that to the sophomore instead of the senior. And the brothers will go home and laugh about that. Here comes Kale. Could he again bend another rim? He does! Look at him! And that is sheer joy on his face after he rams it home.
Absolutely. I have no idea what that feels like, but Kale definitely enjoys it when he gets to throw one down.
I look forward to that every game, and Max wanted an opportunity. He's dunked a couple. Kale, I believe, has dunked 3. And I mean to tell you, you don't see that in Class C1 basketball very often.
No, you don't. Just a tremendously athletic bunch. They're really fun to watch when they get out in transition. And Kale's so quick with those hands defensively. He's really good at picking those pockets and getting those dunks on the other end.
Luke Clark is checked in the game, talented junior. And what I loved about that dunk was the absolute joy on Kale Jacobson's face after that. He waited a long time to get back and play and recovered from that ACL. And he's enjoying every minute of it.
Absolutely. When a guy misses a whole season like that, you really start to appreciate, the game itself and being able to play it at a high level.
And here's Luke Clark. I believe he had the defense there that caused the travel on Dakota.
I think he did. He did a nice job there. Luke's one of those guys that, he's a blue-collar guy defensively. He's going to come out. He's going to do the little things. Not flashy, but he just does things the right way, and it's rewarded there.
And he is working hard for time on what is a very deep and talented team. And here comes Jacobson on the drive. Step back, look at that feed to Drake, who kicks it out. Wide open Dane, and a little bit short in the rebound coming down to Tim. Across the timeline they come, Nolan Tim. He's a junior. Richmond trying to get on track. I don't believe he scored here in the third quarter, Coach, has he? Here comes Nolan Tim on a spin move, and the rebound coming down to Jacobson. Kale with a great pass to the corner to his brother, Brotherly Love, as they hit it down from Freetown.
Good look there for Dane. Kale drove the paint, found his brother wide open in the corner. Good solid shot. Little hand check there.
Sorry, Coach, stepped on you there. There's a little hand check on Drake, as Coach mentioned. Kale's going to step out. Imagine that Jacobson household at night. They're talking about some of the passes they made. I imagine they're giving each other a little hard time from time to time, too.
Oh, I'm sure they are. One of the best friends of mine in the coaching business, Paul Baronic, who passed away a few years ago.
Ravenna coach, right?
Exactly. Would always talk about his boys. He had 3 boys, and just some of the absolute battles that their kids would have in the living room, in the kitchen, in the basement, just going at it. And as a coach and as a parent, you just go ahead and encourage those things. It toughens them up a little bit.
No doubt. Oh, of course, Drake Baronic played basketball in Nebraska for a while, if I remember right. Now he's the coach of Kearney, I believe.
Right, yep.
Yeah, that was an incredible family. They had a great run at Ravenna. Here comes Cade Bridges. Kicks it out to Drake. We're down to a minute to go, 50-19. Blue Jays in cruise control right now. Back over to Luke. Can Luke get something going offensively? No, he'll dump it off at the top of the key. Yutan standing that man-to-man as well, Coach, huh?
They are, and Yutan right now is just in a mode where they're going to work on their stuff. They know that they're not going to come back from this deficit, but they're going to do things the way they want to do them, and they're just going to try and get better here in this last quarter plus.
Here's a left baseline by Brooks. He's fouled, and let's see who they're going to call it on. They have 2 candidates, and it'll either be on Dinley or on Drake. And Brooks Kissinger, boy, he can really break a defender down, can he?
He can. He's got a great first step. You know, he really works on that in practice, getting those drives to the hole, and he's gotten a lot better at finishing this year, gotten a lot stronger.
They call that on Dinley, by the way. And Brooks' first free throw is up. He is a good shooter from the line. He's shooting 76% from the line. Got that second one. Yeah, Mark mentioned at half if there's any kind of a blemish on tonight, it might just be from the charity stripe. We're not shooting as well as we normally do.
No, you know, Kale missed those 2 there in the first half, which is kind of unusual. Brooks missed 1 there, but, you know, that's going to happen from time to time. You know, even great shooters like myself tend to miss a free throw once in a while. But
now, wait a minute. Didn't I hear you had 12 in a row at one point?
I did have 12 for 12 in one game. My senior year, I did. I forget what the exact number was, 25, 26 in a row, throughout the season. The first one I missed during the season, I was going for a layup. Somehow I was ahead of the pack. I was so slow, I don't know how that happened. But I was ahead of the pack, and a guy from Alma came from behind me and shoved me into the stage. We had a stage on the end of the court, kind of like what Ashland has here. Shoved me into the stage. I dodged a trombone that about killed me. But I came back for the free throws. I was kind of standing on one leg because my one leg hit the stage. That's my excuse for missing the free throw after that. So that was the first one that I missed on the year, but I think I ended up right around 90% on the year.
Here's my only question. How many times have your wife and kids had to hear that story about why you missed? Because I'll bet they've heard it a few times.
I'm sure it's too many, but that's my only claim to fame. I was a very average Class D basketball player, but I could shoot free throws, so that was that's the one thing I can brag about, I guess.
Well, it takes some serious athleticism to dodge the trombone player. You know, the Stanford guy couldn't dodge it. He just ran over him.
No, he just took him out.
Yeah.
No, but evidently, you know, the band decided to store their instruments just behind the curtain on the stage. So when I went through that curtain, there was a trombone right in my face. But I survived, lived to tell about it.
Well, I'll tell you, that is quite the story. I'm glad I brought it up. But your 12 free throws that you made in your career, or in one game, more than I think that I ever made in my career. So right there, you got something. Yutan will have the basketball to start this fourth quarter as Evan Shepard will get on Nolan Tim. You got Parker, you got Cougar Konzen, Brooks Kissinger, and Cale Jacobson. Here's Peterson for a 3-ball, and he'll knock it home. Good shot by Sam.
Good look there by Peterson. Nice smooth stroke. Knocked it down, and here come the Blue Jays.
And here comes Cale Jacobson with a little step through. Oh, you would hear Jordan Wallman say, too smooth, Cale Jacobson.
He does have all the moves. He's really solid in there, really hard to defend. I don't know how you guard that.
Yeah, that is something else. That is just so, and he makes it look so easy, Coach. By the way, Yutan only scored 2 points in the third as Richmond has the ball knocked out of bounds. And you might want to check with your son on that, but I have them scoring just 2 in the third quarter.
Right.
That is correct.
Yutan just had 2 in the third. That was quite a quarter. 16-2 for the Blue Jays.
Beautiful feed from Tim to Peterson, and it's 53-24. Well, that will be something Coach Mose will like to see. As you mentioned, he got on the team in the second quarter for not playing defense like they're capable of, and boy, they heard it in the third, didn't they?
They absolutely did. There's
Cale Jacobson, attaboy, 56-24.
Good to see Cale join the three-point party here.
And that looked good, boy. That was a rainbow there.
Absolutely.
Yutan staying with it. Coach Jesse Gardner. This kid is going to win a lot of games at Yutan. And now we got a whistle on a reach in on one of the Blue Jays. Coach Mose celebrating his 100th victory this year. He's done an awesome job. Here's something about Coach Mose that I'm sure you know about, the fans may not know about, but he literally breaks down every single made shot after a game and how they scored it. So in other words, should we be overplaying their right hand? And they went to their right and scored and attacked the rim. He breaks down every single shot.
Yeah, he's one of those coaches, and I'm the same way. You know, I would watch so much film. Coach Mose does the same thing. You watch so much film, and you really pick up on those tendencies of your opponent and the things that you can do defensively to shut those things down, and you can see the dividends that it pays here.
Well, Peterson missed that jumper. Dane Jacobson helped him up to his feet, and that's good to see. These two school and players know each other well, and here's a pass that might be knocked out of bounds off of Luke Clark, who's getting a lot of time here in this basketball game. And now we got a host of Yutan players who have checked in, and the Blue Jays have Jackson Ham, they've got Dane Jacobson, Cade Bridges, Luke Clark, and Drake Zimmerman with 5:50 to go here in the fourth. So the starters here getting a little bit of a breather for both teams.
Right, looks like the reserves are going to play it out, and that's a good move by both coaches. You know, they've got games coming up the rest of the week here. We've got conference tournament coming up next week, so this is a good opportunity for some of these younger guys to get some valuable minutes here.
Maybe at the next break, Drake Zimmerman with those quick hands. He's fighting. We got a scrum and we got a jump ball. And Coach, at the next timeout, we'll look at that conference matchup, or conference tournament, I should say. And it should be a fun one. And oh boy, that will be an over and back. Now, does he have to have control of the ball that they're calling over and back?
Well, it looked like there that, you know, since both of his feet were established in the front court and he did touch it, that it is an over and back. Now, that's just a mental thing. If he had caught the ball in the backcourt like he probably should have, instead of trying to tightrope the line, it wouldn't have been an issue. Just one of those things that happens.
Luke Clark, bingo for Luke Clark! Knocked it home!
That's nice to see for Luke.
He's playing a good game tonight. Now, Jordan Wallman on that over and back call, he would have immediately defended the official. Said, absolutely, that's a right call. Yutan down 59-24 with the ball. And we're working it around. Here comes a shot. It's up and it's good. And knocking that home here is Paul Kirchman.
Nice shot there by the senior. Good to see him get a couple of points.
Here comes Luke Clark working it around. Jackson Ham, they call him the Hammer. Here's Clark again. Oh, just a little short. He was feeling it though, Coach.
Yep, a little heat check there for Luke. See if he can knock another one down, just off to the side.
And we're gonna scour the program here because I don't have 22 down. Sorry, Coach, if I dropped that on you. And in the game here for Yutan, it's Jackson Gayer. And here comes a shot at the top of the key. That's a three ball up and good for Paul Kirchman. 59-28, under 4 minutes to go. I didn't see the JV final score here, boys. Do you know how that game ended up?
Yeah, I was here for the JV game. There's another three by Dane. Ashland won. I forget what the exact final was. It was a pretty good margin, kind of like what it is here.
Dane Jacobson, the sophomore, knocks home that three. I would have loved to give him a bingo on that one, but I was talking through it. And back the other way comes Kirchman. He's going to dump it off in the paint. Dane tips it around. We got a little volleyball match going on. But Yutan comes up with it. John Cook would have approved of that last tip around. Kirchman working off the right side. And Luke Clark taps it out of bounds. No, it went off of Yutan. So what are you looking for here, Coach, if you're Coach Mose and Coach Gardner in this situation?
Well, the biggest thing you want to see from your younger players is that they play hard, they do things the right way, and that's one of the reasons why Ashland's been so successful. When you look at their second five or their 11th and 12th guys that they bring off the bench, they are solid players. They would have a bigger role on a lot of teams. And when the starters are going against that every day in practice, it just makes them so much better. And you can really see how these guys can push those starters in practice and make them a really solid team.
And that was the freshman Aaronsburg on the bucket the other way, Coach, to make it 62-30. Blue Jays miss, and back comes Kirchman. And I'm sure both of these coaches, what I like about it, they're both coaching really hard right now. Working it off the left side, high dribble, not called to kick it out. Kirchman says, I'm feeling it, but he's a little short. Went off the hands of a Yutan player. And by the way, Coach, you talk about our team tonight. We got a heck of a crew here. Melissa Kuhl, Logan Yingling, and Michael Kozlow. You guys have been awesome tonight. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Isaac, that's right. Man, they've done a great job for us tonight, Coach. And here's a three ball the other way that's no good. Jordan Wallman's out, and so his whole team of students took over this broadcast tonight, and what a job they've done. You guys have been awesome.
Yep, they're doing a great job for us. Really appreciate them.
Back the other way, we got a whistle and a push as Luke Clark, I think, is going to be whistled here with 1:50 to go at 62-30. Big Blue leads. And I know we got this conference tournament coming up, Coach. The Blue Jays are the #1 seed. I thought we might get a timeout here to preview that a little bit, but here's a shot in the paint that's no good, and Drake Zimmerman on the board. But with the #1 seed, Yutan, I believe, is the 4 or 5 seed going in that. Should be a fun one next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We get things rolling Saturday with the play-in games. Ashland will play the winner of Logan v. Raymond Central.
Dawson Grill, make that Declan Grill with the buck. Walker Grill, I'll get the third
One of those grills made that shot. That was Walker.
Oh, I've known Walker since he was in diapers. I can't believe I blew that. So, but yeah, you were saying, Coach, and I stepped right over you.
Yeah, absolutely. Ashland's the 1 seed. They'll get the winner of Logan v. Raymond Central, and that'll be here in Ashland next Tuesday night. And then Yutan is the 4 seed, so they're on the same side of the bracket with Ashland. Yutan hosts Louisville also on Tuesday at 6. And the winners of those 2 games will play each other. So we could see the Chieftains right back here next Friday night in that semifinal game.
Well, Drake Zimmerman, he's going to try to make something happen. Kicks it out. Will Grill get his second? No, but he's going to pull up in the paint. Won't get it to fall, and the student body was all over it. They wanted to see that bucket fall.
You know, that's a good look for Walker. You know, like I was talking about earlier, that was one of those mid-range jumpers that's a lower percentage shot. You know, he had the open 3, but he did a good job of getting the pump fake and driving the paint. I would have liked to seen him take the ball harder to the basket.
We're under 20 seconds. The Blue Jays continue to fight here. There's a partially blocked shot. Coming out of there was Dawson Teese. And Coach Mose will have his team just hold it. They're yelling. They want Jackson Ham to get a shot. Listen to the crowd. They're begging for Jackson the Hammer. They're calling for a hammy, but Coach Mose will not oblige. And the Blue Jays now get to their 10th win of the year with a 65-30 victory. Hey, thank you. And your son's a great player. He's a great shooter. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We were just talking to Jill Dow, of course, who we mentioned earlier. She's a record setter at UNO for three-point percentage. And Richmond tonight is her son. Wasn't able to really have the second half he wanted. Had a good first half with 7 points, but credit that Blue Jay defense once again, Coach.
Yep, they really did a nice job against Richmond, kind of holding him right at his average, I think, maybe a little bit below. A couple other guys stepped up. Sam Peterson had a nice game for the Chieftains, hit some shots inside. But, you know, like we said, the Blue Jays just controlled it from start to finish. They got off to that hot start, and they just rolled, and they did what they do. Coach Mose will be happy, I think, with the overall effort. You know, you're going to have a few breakdowns here and there, but overall just a really solid game again by the Blue Jays.
No, one of the things that, as you mentioned, these 2 teams could be playing in about a little over a week. And you know that Coach Gardner is going to want them to get out if they play again to a little bit different start. But talk about that start tonight for the Blue Jays. It was 15-2 before you could blink an eye in this game.
Right, and that's exactly what Coach Gardner didn't want to happen. And it was just the defensive pressure. You know, and they've played some solid teams on their schedule earlier in the year, teams that play really solid defense. But the Blue Jays, with their athleticism, their quickness, really disrupted what Yutan was trying to do offensively, and just took them out of their game from the get-go. And it was really difficult for them to mount any sort of comeback on them.
And by the way, we're going to continue to recap this game, but a big thank you I need to give tonight is to Tommy Edwards, who's the play-by-play guy over at Yutan. He does their Stride broadcast. He's been a friend of mine for 30 years. Gave me a lot of time last night on the phone to talk about Yutan and help me prep for this game. Does a marvelous job for Yutan Stripes. So if you get a chance to ever tune into a game, you'll get a treat with Tommy. He does just an absolutely great job. But Dan, getting back to this game here, of course, tonight, the Big Blue, they are playing really good basketball. I mean, I felt like in December they were playing well, but I think they have taken it to another level. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, they really have. You know, as a coach, you just have to be thrilled with the way they're playing. They do all the little things. They check all the boxes. They've got size. They've got speed. They've got shooters. You know, like I said, I've been talking to a few of my coaching friends, you know, and they seem to all agree that the Blue Jays have everything it takes to make a run deep in the state tournament. If they can stay healthy, if they can stay focused, and I don't see any signs that they're losing any focus. If they can stay healthy, they are going to be one of the top teams to beat when we get into March.
When you look at this, is there anything tonight that if you're the head coach, Coach Valley, of this Ashland-Greenwood team, that you're coming away saying, boy, this is evident, we got to work on this, or tonight I was not happy with this facet of the game?
You know, there's not a lot. You know, like we said, there's little breakdowns here and there. There was a couple times they didn't box out. They gave up some offensive rebounds. But defensively, they didn't foul. They didn't put Yutan in easy positions. They didn't bail them out with silly things. They didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. I know Mark's going to have some stats here as far as the turnovers go, but I know they didn't turn the ball probably more than 10 times that I can remember. And when you play at a level like that, you shoot the ball at such a high percentage and you don't turn it over and you hold the other team to 30 points. There's not a whole lot that you can be disappointed about. Of course, they're going to work on things to try and get better, but just a really solid effort by the Blue Jays tonight.
Absolutely. And speaking of solid efforts, we know Mark Adele is going to give us one. Mark, what's it look like?
Wow. We did cool off just a little in the second half, only 10 of 18. We were 25 of 41 for the game, 61%. From three, 10 of 21 for 48%. Blue Jays are not going to be an easy team to zone where they shoot the ball. 3 of 6 from the line, did not shoot a lot of free throws, 50%. For Yutan, we held them to 4 of 13 shooting the second half. For the game, they were 11 of 27, 41%. From three, they didn't take a lot of threes. They made some, though. They were 3 of 6, 50%. They only had 2 trips to the line, both in the first half, 1 of 2. Rebounds, we had 15, they had 16. Both teams too offensive. Not a lot of rebounds tonight, because they didn't get a lot of shots and our shooting percentage was high. Turnovers, this was the biggest factor. They turned it over 18 times, just 5 for the Blue Jays. In both factors, it is tough, the pressure Yutan puts on you to only turn it over 5 times and to turn them over 18 times. That is a good basketball team, folks. Might not have looked that way tonight, but they are.
Well, Mark, we appreciate the stats as usual. Thank you, young man. And, boy, plus 13, Tyler Craven, the assistant coach who joins us in the turnover margin. They had 18, we had 5. Let's start there. As a coach, tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that just means our guys did a good job defending and increasing the pace like we've been asking them to do, and like it benefits them when it happens.
Well, Coach, coming into this game, one of the things Coach Mo said to me last night is, look, if they get out to an early lead, they're going to do what they like to do. So you get out 15-2. Talk about that quick start.
Yeah, we really emphasized that because we thought, if we didn't come out to that early lead, if we weren't very efficient early, like some other teams had been, that you can kind of get down playing their pace. And they're a good basketball team, and they defend the crap out of the basketball. And we were just really, really worried about that. And our guys responded super well. I think we hit 3 threes in a row, started out 8-0, maybe 11-0 or something like that. So that's a great job by our guys.
Coach?
Coach, you talk about that hot start. it was great to see Cougar Conzum get off to such a great start. Hit a couple of threes, had 12 points in the first quarter. A guy that hasn't scored as much this year as he did last year. It's great to see him going. Talk a little bit about how proud you are of Cougar there in that first quarter.
Yeah, that's a guy we talked a lot about this summer. Like, man, his role is going to change. The ball's not going to be in his hands as much. We're not going to rely on his scoring as much. But maybe, his shooting improves, which is hard to say as he shot 50 from 3 last year. He just has kind of had a weird start adapting to his new role. But I think tonight just shows you how good of a player he really is. And I think teams maybe aren't going to scout him as well, just thinking he's kind of taking a back seat. And he's not. That's not a focal point for our offense. It's just he's finally stepping up to the challenge in the way that he knows he can play and has worked to play.
Well, Coach, we love – one of the things I said to Coach Valley is I thought you guys played very well in December, but, man, I just feel like you've taken another half a step up. I mean, this team is just playing on all cylinders. Do you feel the same way?
We think we've taken a step up since that early January game, the holiday tournament early January game. Those 3 games we didn't think we'd defended very well, just thought basketball very well, and since then I think we've done a really good job. So our guys I'm really happy for our guys, and we appreciate them.
Well, we appreciate you coming up here, and we're going to get with Coach Mose as well. Great job tonight, Coach. And you did a great job in the post-game interview, Tyler. It was nice to have you. It's nice to have. We lost you last time, so. Hey, Coach Mose, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, listen, that was a wonderful performance. Coach Valley and I have sat here and really sung your praises of your team. But again, I just want to let you know, you had 4 quarters I think you're going to be very happy with defensively. Only 2 points given up in the third and under 10 for the other 3. Were you happy defensively with the performance tonight?
Yeah, overall, definitely. I thought we did a really good job. We told them at halftime there was 3 possessions we didn't like. So, when you can go into halftime and, get picky about things, that's probably a good thing. So the 25 possessions, the 28 possessions in the first half, we really liked a lot of them. We just wanted to clean up a couple things and do them a little bit better, and I thought in the third quarter they really did a good job.
Richmond has 7 against you in the first half, but I don't know if he scored in the second half. He didn't, Coach, yeah. So I know one of your, you always like to make sure their best player. Can you hold them either down below their average or well below their shooting percentage? You did both tonight, I think.
Yeah, in one we went under on a 3, and that's was one of those first half possessions we didn't really like. So those things happened, but held him under, but didn't do a real good job on Zero, who we also wanted to contain. So he kind of got going a little bit. And again, when you're guarding best players, they're hard to contain sometimes. And so they're gonna get their buckets. We just want to make them work for everything that they get.
I'm going to give it up to Coach Valley here, but I saw at one point you seemed maybe a little frustrated when Peterson Zero gets that little 8-footer. Max maybe forgot to come out and challenge him a little bit. Was I reading it right or no?
Yeah, I told him to put a hand up, and he's literally 8 feet in front of me, and he still didn't do it. And it's just a little details is what we told him at halftime. You got to do the just tiny little things to get the result that we want. And that kind of, that shot got him going a little bit, and then he hit another one, and he got in the paint. We made it tough on him to finish in the lane, but, he hit some 3 and some perimeter shots.
Coach.
Coach, Tim asked me, so I'm going to pose the question to you. He asked me as a coach, what can we take from this game that we want to get better at? And I said, well, of course, there's always going to be little things here and there, like you said, the 3 possessions that you were disappointed in the first half. But overall, obviously you have to be pleased with this effort. What are some of those things, those things you want to fine tune as you get down towards the end of the season here?
I think a big thing of what we've talked about, because our kids do a really good job on a lot of things, is just thinking the game, the basketball IQ portion. They ran an out-of-bounds play where they got a back screen and tried to lob it into the paint, and it didn't work. The first time they ran it, they missed the shot. And then they ran the same thing again, and we let it go there again and make a layup. It's things like that we want to kind of stop. As the game progresses, we want to become familiar with what they're trying to do, how they're doing it. And that's kind of one example, I guess, because there's not a lot. Sometimes you'll play a game and win, and you've got still 3 or 4 things we want to get better at. And tonight there's probably only 1 or 2, and that was one of them. Just thinking the game and making it really, really tough for them to score.
Well, Coach, you got a little bit of a break before conference, but conference is always fun. Tell us your thoughts going into the conference tournament.
Well, we'll play Syracuse Friday.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Hey, I've been away for a while, Coach.
Yeah, you're not on your A game. I feel sorry for the guy who had to call the game with you, but yeah. We'll practice obviously Wednesday, Thursday, and come back Friday and be ready to go. And again, that's just another opportunity for us to build good habits as we head into that conference tournament that you were talking about, and just try and play our best basketball.
Well, on that note, I think I got to let you go. I can't ask any more after that. I can't top it, but hey, congrats on a nice win tonight.
Thanks. I had to pick on you for that one. So sorry.
It was wide. It was a softball, bud.
Thanks for calling the game.
You bet. Coach Mose, great job tonight. And we've got now Brooks Kissinger, who comes up here the first time on TV. That's right. So, Brooks, another really solid night for you. You knocked down a 3 in that first quarter. Tell us a little bit how you guys get out in front 15-2, because you guys were like a locomotive to start that game. Tell us a little bit how you guys did it.
I think it's just ball movement and just pushing in transition. We do a good job of setting back screens, moving the ball, and just attacking off a reversal.
And Brooks, let me ask you that, because we saw, and Coach Valley was talking about this, your movement away from the basketball is so terrific as a team. All you guys know when to cut, and you really put a lot of pressure because of those cuts. Tell us a little bit, how does that, is that something that is just, you guys have worked together so long, it just happens? Tell us a little bit how that all comes together.
I think a big part of it is just playing together as when we were younger, and then just we practiced it a lot at practice, and it's part of the game that we have to get better at, but it's good to do it.
Absolutely. Good job, Brooks. And I know Coach Valley's got a question or two for you.
Yeah, Brooks, the past couple games, it looks like maybe you've drawn the defensive assignment of the other team's best player. Do you guys fight over that? Do you have to say, I want to guard him this time? Because all 5 of our starters can guard defensively at a really high level. Talk a little bit about how you mentally approach going against the other team's best player.
Yeah, Coach Craven just challenges me to shut down the best player, and I just go out there, try to limit him to the least amount of shots he can get, and just try my best to shut him down.
Well, you did a great job tonight. Richmond ended up, I think, with 9 points, so kept him under his average, so great job.
Thank you.
I can't remember, Brooks, who it was earlier in the year where Cale was fighting to take their best player. Did you and Cale have any kind of disagreement who was going to get him?
Oh, yeah, probably. For sure.
Who wins that battle?
He's a good arguer, but probably me. Probably me.
All right. Well, that'll only get better. So, hey, listen, bud, thank you so much for coming up. Great job, and loved having you up here tonight.
Yep, thank you.
All right, you bet. Brooks Kissinger, who is playing some great basketball along with his Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays. And, Coach, I'll leave the final word with you tonight here after this impressive Blue Jay victory.
Well, like we said in the pregame, the team that comes out and establishes themselves in the first quarter was going to have the upper hand, and the Blue Jays did that. They started out right on cue what they wanted to do. They jumped out to that big lead. Yutan could never recover from that. So just a great job by the Blue Jays, players, coaches, all on down the line, did exactly what they needed to do. And they just continue to roll. They don't have letdowns, it seems. You're bound to have a bad game here or there, but they're stringing some great games here together at the right time. So it's really fun to watch them play.
Well, I had a ball with you tonight, and I apologize for all the text messages and email I've sent you over the last 48 hours.
No, I enjoyed it too. It's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again sometime.
Absolutely, you betcha. And by the way, thanks to your son. I didn't catch his first name.
That's Tucker.
All right, Tucker. He did a great job on the book for us tonight, which was a huge help. And, man, what a crew we have. Elliot Gosson, who was our runner after the broadcast tonight. Isaac Love, Melissa Kuhl, Logan Yingling, Michael Koslow. You guys stepped in when your leader couldn't be here tonight. Awesome job. You kept us on the air. Great job. So I know he's going to be very proud of him. So for all of those folks, for Coach Dan Valley, I'm Tim Washburn saying so long. We'll see you Friday night. We are done. If you can just shut